Hi, everyone. My name is Idowu Akinde, and everyone calls me ID. Welcome to episode 8 in season 4. Season 4 is all about team validation. Welcome to episode 8. And even though this is episode 8, this is the second out of 3 things to do when you have found a pool of candidates, right? So when you've found some candidates to be your co-founders, what do you do? In the previous episode, we discussed that you should run a small test. In this episode, we'll discuss the concept of a co-founder agreement, okay? And I'd like to say here that this is probably one of the most important things to do, right? So you find that you don't want to be caught in a situation where the reason why things are not done is because nobody set the lines for who does what, So the responsibility falls to the lead founder, the person that I've been referring to so far as the lead founder, or the founder, the actual founder who invites other co-founders on the journey. So the responsibility falls on you to actually break down the work that is to be done. So, for instance, you are looking for a sales-oriented co-founder. You're looking for a tech-oriented co-founder. We spoke about the 3H model, right? Hacker, hustler, hipster. You're looking for a tech-oriented co-founder, a sales-oriented co-founder, a marketing-oriented co-founder, product marketing, design, buzz-oriented co-founder. You need to, and you as a lead founder, if you're not one of them, you actually need to define a common co-founder agreement that has the roles and responsibilities, the risk and the reward, and also the types of compensation for each of these co-founders embedded in that document, so that everyone understands what is required of them in order to build this particular startup. Now, people often ask, how do I go about this? And my answer is simple. You need to, like I said, project into the future and think about yourself as a manager, as a manager of people, and ask yourself, how could I break down the expected deliverables for each of these people, for this particular person? Pick one of them. How could I break down the expected deliverables for this particular person in such a way that it is easy to measure and track, okay? The reason is that the real advantage of the co-founder agreement, is not just, goes beyond just having a documentation for everybody's roles and responsibilities. It represents an opportunity for you to instill a culture of accountability in your organization, right? Especially when the lead founder that invites other co-founders subjects themselves to the same degree of accountability and reporting and I must get my job done attitude and culture. It's a great opportunity and a great tool to bring everybody to bring their A game, to get everybody to bring their A game into building your startup. The problem is that usually, as you might expect, right, and it does happen in life, right? Sometimes we go into business with our friends, right? So we have existing friendships. These are people that know us in certain capacities and we know them in certain capacities, right? They're our friends. We play together. We probably work together on a few things together, and they may not have had an opportunity to work with us or work extensively with us. In exchange, well, in essence, what that means is is you need to have a system that helps people wear a certain hat of seriousness, but more importantly, more elaborately, that helps them bring a sense and a spirit of accountability, a sense of seriousness and accountability to the business whenever you call them about the business. If you're calling your friend about going to the club or hanging out or going for a party or going swimming or, going walking, obviously that's a different type of call. But when you call them about work, there needs to be something that inspires a certain sense of accountability. And this particular tool is perhaps, a genius tool, like I like to call it, for establishing that culture of accountability. The second genius of the co-founder agreement is that it is a fantastic tool for helping founders to protect the business entity that has just been created from the vagaries of life, from the uncertainties of life that may affect both the founder or any of the other co-founders. So let me take that again. Life is a very uncertain place, right? Even though we have the best of intentions, we have the best intentions at heart, and we found people that are compatible, we filtered them, found people that are compatible, we could actually go ahead and, discover somewhere along the line that one of our co-founders just lost their job or just does not have the fire anymore. Maybe they've had a life-changing event, the priorities have changed, their priorities have shifted. Something has just happened, life has just happened, right? What happens to the business? How do you manage that dynamic? How do you manage that relationship? The reason the co-founder agreement is a fantastic tool for addressing situations like this is because of something called the vesting clause, okay? And that's what is in bold italic on the screen. The vesting clause is a modern component of co-founder agreements, that has been designed to protect the new baby, right? The new entity, because the business itself is an entity, the new entity that has been created from external circumstances that may be happening in the life of the founders, and I'll explain. So the vesting clause helps to capture the deliverables that are expected for each of the founders, expressed as milestones, in addition to the conditions for the award of that equity position in exchange for milestone achievement. So let me just use a simple example. Let's take an example of let's say myself and someone are starting a new startup together. Okay, so we're thinking of using a vesting clause. We decide to use a vesting clause that we decide to use a vesting term of 24 months, just for discussion purposes, okay? 24 months. Or let's change that to 12 months, okay? Just for discussion purposes, we decide to use a vesting term of 12 months. What that means is that if we are splitting this equity, for instance, 70%, 30%, right? What we're saying is that if I can meet all my deliverables month after month for the next 12 months, then I will get, by the end of that 12th month, I would have received the last of my installmental awards of equity that grants me my full 70% equity. If the other party that owns 30% equity also, working towards a 12-month vesting period, also does their work and meets all their deliverables, according to pre-established KPIs, at the end of the 12th month, they would also have received their full 30% equity allotment. Taken together, that's 100%, right? So you see how, now what happens if by month 2, something happens and my co-founder, who has been awarded 30%, is unable to continue? Anything could happen. It may not even be their fault. It may not be their own doing. They may just, something may happen in their life and they can't continue. Okay? In that case, the vesting clause lays out the terms for either offering the party that is leaving an option to sell back their shares to the existing founders, option 1, or to receive just the portion, the pro rata portion of how much equity that they have earned till that point. So a co-founder that should have earned 30% at the end of the vesting period, in this particular example, our vesting period is 12 months, just for discussion purposes. That's not realistic, but just for discussion purposes, 12 months. Who needs to leave at the end of month 3 because of some situation in their life will obviously get 3/12, 1/4 of 30%. So that co-founder leaves with 7.5% in one scenario. And so we now have the remaining 22.5% to offer to the next candidate that is available to get that job done. This obviously is an empirical, practical, reasonable, logical, sensible way to protect a business from what might be happening in the lives of the founders. Like I said, the options are there. Some co-founders will opt to retain the fraction that they've earned. Okay, I've earned 1%, I'm going away. I would have gotten 5% after 48 months, but I've earned 1% because I've done 12 months, rather 1.25% because I've done 12 months. I'll go away with my 1.25%. If that's properly captured in the vesting clause of the co-founder agreements, then they can walk away with their shareholding. We need to give the remaining 3.75% to someone who can get that job done, the balance of the job done, right? Or the option 2 is the remaining co-founders offer that, the business offers that exiting co-founder the option to sell those shares back to the business, right? So that, they go away with some money, but, the 7.5% in the case of the earlier example, or the 1.25 example in the case of the latter example that I used, is plowed back, is pumped back into the company, and we can then offer that, decide how to distribute that, either to offer it to a new person or redistribute it among the people who take up the work that is left undone. So like I said, the vesting clause is a fantastic instrument for helping businesses saving, helping to protect a business from the uncertainties of life that may occur in the lives of its co-founders. That's the vesting clause. But overall, on a higher level, the co-founder agreement is also a fantastic genius tool for instilling work ethic and accountability in your team of co-founders. Without much further ado, thank you very much for tolerating my hallucinations. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.